The last book that you'll read for the class is your choice. You can choose between two books. One is titled How to Win the Nobel Prize by Michael Bishop, and the other book is called The Art and Politics of Science by Harold Varmus. Bishop and Varmus shared a Nobel Prize, and what's interesting about them is that they both had liberal arts educations at small colleges, one in Pennsylvania and one in Massachusetts, and then went on to, Bishop went on to Harvard Medical School. Varmus went on to graduate school in English, but then shifted over to medicine and went to medical school at the College of Physicians and Surgeons at Columbia Universities. After getting their medical degrees, and this was in the early 60s, they both served in a hospital as an intern resident. They're called house officers. And then since they were both more interested in research, and they were not interested in serving in the military at the time, which was the time of the Vietnam War, they both went and did research as public health service officers at the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. And this was an important training place, and it still is an important training place for physician scientists. After education and training in research science and virology at NIH, Bishop went off to the University of California in San Francisco. He took that advice of Horace Greeley to go west, young man. And then later, Harold Varmus joined Bishop in his laboratory at UCSF as a postdoctoral fellow. Bishop was initially interested in polio virus, and then switched over, especially after the discovery of reverse transcriptase by David Baltimore and Howard Temin, note the last book that you read, shifted over to study Rous sarcoma virus, which was then obviously known to be a retrovirus and a cancer-causing virus. Now, what's interesting about Rous sarcoma virus is that it carries a gene that's responsible for the transformation of cells. Now, when we use the term transformation of cells, what we're referring to is the change of a normal cell into a cancer cell, where that cell, when it becomes a cancer cell, has lost the ability to control its growth and grows in an uncontrolled way, as typically is seen in cancer. Now, previously there had been developed a hypothesis that the virus carries into those cells a gene obviously causing the cells to lose their growth control, and that gene is called an oncogene, onco meaning cancer, and this was the development of something called the oncogene hypothesis. The gene that does this was referred to as the SRC or SARC gene, which stands for sarcoma, which as the S of RSV stands for Rous sarcoma virus. Now, it turns out that the SARC gene is actually a version of a normal gene, a normal cellular gene, which has become known as a proto-oncogene. And we have these genes in our genome. These genes have, these proto-oncogenes have evolved in our genome to play probably an important role in growth and normal development of cells. But there are occasions where those genes become mutated, where they then cause cells to become cancer cells and lose growth control. In terms of their academic careers, Bishop and Varmus had faculty positions at UCSF, and ultimately Bishop moved up and eventually became the Chancellor, the chief, the leader of the University of California, San Francisco. Varmus, Harold Varmus, went on to direct the National Institutes of Health during the Clinton administration, and then moved to New York and was the president of Sloan Kettering Cancer Institute. And now, today, I'm doing this recording on March 5th. Now Varmus is the current director of the National Cancer Institute, which is one of the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. However, news today is that on March 31st, Harold Varmus is going to step down as director of the National Cancer Institute and is going to move to the Weill Medical College of Cornell University, which is in New York, and have and have a cancer research laboratory there. Though Bishop is retired as Chancellor, he's Chancellor Emeritus, he still is active in research at the University of California, San Francisco.